Hey, Coach, just wanted to ask you about Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State. Obviously, he's putting up big numbers. Just what you've seen from him, and then also the QB run game. Seems like it's going to be a big key for you guys this week as well.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, great player, big, physical, older guy. Runs hard. He's averaging about 10 yards a carry right now. You know, they're going to want to run first offense is what they've done. You know, like I said, he runs hard. He will be a challenge, and we're excited for that challenge. So we know all about him. You know, I think a lot of people, when he left Wake Forest, they thought they were losing their best player, and he's looked like that the beginning of the season, breaking some long runs and averaging, like I said, over 10 yards a carry. So, and then the quarterback run game, you know, yeah, he'll pull the ball on quarterback runs. You know, he can run. He is a good athlete. So definitely keep our attendance up for a guy like that. Changes your run game when the quarterback can use his feet to get out of trouble in the pass game and in the run game.
Coach, we're going to go to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Patke. I want to get your thoughts on Avery Huff. Obviously, we know how fast he is. You guys have talked about his speed for a while, but obviously he's going to get an opportunity to play more in this game with the injury to Keontra. Just where is he at in his development? And then obviously Waynmon Steed, I know filled in for when Keontra got hurt. Just your thoughts on him, and is he maybe back to being 100%? After his injury. I know he's had a lot of those long battle with that.
Yeah, super proud of Steed coming in. You know, it was hard for him to get set behind K4, but, kept his head up, kept preparing. Like I tell these guys all the time, you never know when your time's going to come. So, unfortunately, K4 goes down, Steed comes in, and I actually think he plays really well. It looks, coming out of camp, he has looked better than he has since he's been here as far as his health. He's leaned out. He's running good. So I was super excited to watch him play. I thought he played pretty well when he went into the game. And then Avery, like you said, he's athletic, he's long, he's everything you want in a will linebacker. He's come a long way in the spring and in the fall camp. I'm excited to get him into a game and kind of see him in the fire. So I think if he just stays in the defense and does what the defense tells him to do, he'll be so surprised about how many plays he can make.
Coach, we're going to go to Matt Shodell from Kingsport next. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Coach. I guess, Pro Football Focus keeps all these analytics, and I think they've listed you at over 20 missed tackles over the first two games. How much of an issue is that, especially coming against a team like this, like you said, a guy who's, averaging 10 yards a carry, and any concerns there?
Yeah, it's always a concern, missed tackles. I think from week 1 to week 2, we did get better. Substantially better, just not being able to tackle a lot in camp. It always shows up early in the season. Now we got 2 games behind us, getting on the ground, tackling. I think it becomes more natural, through as the season goes on. And we're still healthy. So I believe our tackling should improve this game. Now tackling a big back like that, 210 pounds, you got to run your feet on contact. You got to really set edges. Everything's about leverage and edges, and in tackling becomes easier when you set hard edges on our defense and when you use great angles. So, and we got to wrap and roll. And I think we'll be better this week in that regard, but obviously a concern that we've addressed with our team and our defense.
Coach, next we're going to go to Kobe Price from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Appreciate it, Cameron. Coach, wanted to really follow up on with the linebackers. Do you anticipate, or I guess have you and Manny really talked about possibly, bringing Gilbert down and just to maybe fill in the gaps on a couple snaps at that position, or counter out, or maybe even bringing out some of the young guys to get more snaps than they have, the first couple games?
Yeah, coming into the first game, we felt really good about Corey Flagg, Keontra, BJ and Steed, and obviously Avery. So we felt like we had a good depth, but things happen with injuries. So we'll take whatever guys we need to fill a spot. Right now, we still feel comfortable with Steed. I think, like I said, he played great. I think Avery's going to be ready to fill those shoes in the second team right now. And I feel good with our mics, but we know our run defense is as good as our D tackles and our inside backers. So we're always going to make sure that we have the best players inside to stop the run. We always try to get the best personnel on the field, whoever that may be, whatever grade they might be in. But right now we feel like we got the top 4 that we have in there right now.
Coach, we're going to go to Chris Stock at InsideTheU. Chris, go ahead.
Just I know you touched on tackling, but overall assessment of the play of the linebackers through 2 games overall there. And then also the kick return, giving up the touchdown. What kind of needs to be fixed there? Obviously, they've got a couple threats over at Michigan State, particularly in the punt return game. Just your thoughts on coverage and defending there.
Yeah, first assessment of linebackers. Gave up 3.9 rush per rush against Alabama, 3.3 this past week. 3.5 is our goal, so met our goal this past weekend against a really, really good rushing football team. Kind of got them out of their running game, their running style, kind of chased them out of stretch. They started running more counter. So proud of the way our guys play. There's always room for an improvement. I think from week 1 to week 2, we improved. I think we got to improve from week 2 to week 3. Limit, a couple of runs that get out on us is just we miss a tackle at the point of attack. Take that out of our game, and these what we say as a staff is some of these run figures can be underneath 3, so that would be a huge goal for us. But I think we've improved, and we constantly got to improve. As far as the kickoff for a return, we practiced that return all week. We knew they were going to be a boundary return team. They gave us exactly what we practiced all week. We had some guys that did not fit it exactly how they should fit it. We spilled on the outside instead of boxing it back into our forward players. So the ball just circled us, and got to find the right guys on that unit, guys that want to be on it, guys that do things right. It's a defensive play. We got to get a hat in the gap, and we did not have a hat in the gap. So multiple mistakes by multiple people. Like I always say, I think our effort's there, but it's a defensive play. We got to fit it up correctly. It's the exact same return we saw all week, and we just didn't fit it right. So, look at our personnel on that unit. That can't happen again, obviously. And then Michigan State has great returners. Number 1, big-time punt returner, kick returner. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to try to field every single ball. So we got a great challenge this week. Our punt team was great last weekend. We got to be great each and every week of flipping the field.
Coach, I got 2 more for you. We're going to go first back to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Obviously a big kick by Andy to win the game. Curious how far you guys will actually trust him, from how far out in a game. And is that something, maybe you earn over time as you kick from further and further away? Just curious, because obviously it was a huge kick.
Yeah, Andy does a good job. He'll tell me pregame after he warms up what he feels comfortable with each and every game. We always give him, in his warm-up, he'll always kick a 50-yarder. He smacked it right down the middle pregame. So he felt comfortable. I think he could have gone up to 55 right there. So obviously you don't want to put a freshman in that scenario, but the guy, like I said from the very get he's just mature. He's competitive. After having 1 blocked and 1 bad hold to come in and hit the game winner, man, kudos to that guy. Kudos to Andy. What a heck of a job. He just goes out there and knocks it through. So I'm proud of him. Like I told him after the game, continue to build on this and keep working.
Coach, last one up we got for you is Daryl Streeter from Footballville. Daryl, go ahead.
Coach, how you doing today?
Good.
Avery Huff seems to be very enthused, sideline guy when he's out there. What is it he does well, and why haven't we seen much of him up to now? And I have one follow-up.
He is. It's great you bring that up. On the sideline, he's been unbelievable. Coach Feely helping me get all the special teams units together. Avery's right there. He's been a great teammate on game days. So what he does well is he runs, he tackles well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get him in the game and watch him play. And like I said, he's been nothing but good on game days for us. So and then go ahead with your follow-up.
Okay. On that kickoff, if you don't mind sharing us, Jose Bargalas, the kicker, he's the final line of defense. Any kicker is the final line of defense. What was he supposed to do at that point when he engaged with the runner?
Yeah, he needs to nose up the returner. He always got to stay on top of the ball. He's basically our boundary safety. And right there, he needs to force him out of bounds or force him to cut back. If that guy cuts back, he's tackled on the plus 40-yard line. So he knows that. Kickers don't think they're ever going to be tacklers till they're in that moment. But now you learn. You learn from being put in the fire. And unfortunately, it cost us 7 points. But he knows right now he's got to take a shot, either knock that guy out of bounds or make him cut back, because Al Blades was chasing Marcus Clark. I had a whole convoy of guys chasing all the way to the end zone. If we just made the guy make one cut, we could get it on the ground.